The singer next to me is Robert Davidson. He is a Brisbane native. Let us be so excited for him. Too many airports to be here, folks. So much appreciate your kind regard. Jump. This is Reflections Imagined biographical, factual, factoidal information from my earliest youth of Mississippi, where I was born. Mississippi. That's a 3-syllable word. Decided to migrate them forward with every effort I can bring to you. To the present tense, this important piece of Americana, this Rosetta Stone of American culture, the Tales of Brer Rabbit. Here's another one. You can't make this stuff up, kids. Here's another one. Rabbit rides a fox. Straight, gonna come on fabulous. Sat through my daughter's commencement in New York City, the daughter who suffered 9/11, 4 blocks away, running from it. Dr. John said, I got your sprouts here. My daughter and my son were to see Dr. John backstage, the Blue Note in New York. Isn't that interesting how musicians like to comfort each other and their offspring? Small story. I would like to ask for some questions at some point. I would like to do that. But I thought that was wonderful for Dr. John to do that. So it's empathy that I think is the key, which brings us close to each other. It's that power that distinguishes us. The other day in Melbourne, in the zoo, I saw duck-billed platypus. Knowing that they are endangered, I wanted to be able to have my children tell their grandchildren that their great-grandfather had seen a platypus. So I went to see one. I sent my wife the bill. I should not have done that. That was bad. A bad rabbit canaille on Paso. This here is Orange Great Art from the Warner Brothers record called Orange Great Art, which didn't even have a tip of an iceberg. It was, or in global warming. There was nothing theoretical about its early demise. insane without a trace. But to pay homage to those 3.5 years I worked with Brian Wilson on this record, I'm going to play. My father once observed to me, Van Dyke, your father and I have often marveled at how you put your retirement before your career. This changes everything. This is to California. This final 45 RPM records, the highest fidelity sound you can get. I paid musicians, cellists and bassists and violists and violinists to come in, and saxophone players and stuff, flute. To make some records. There will be 6 over the summer. I'm not complaining. This is not even a first world problem. They are on sale tonight. And if I take one back to Los Angeles, my wife will kill me. Here's a song that was so vulgar. Here's a song. So tired of airports. I remember when they had silver on a plane, and nobody would ever think of taking a knife from the airplane company, except me. We've seen the result as an erosion of privilege by the abuse of too few. Here's from 1857. This is from New Orleans. This deserves, I think, a permanent place in the transparency of the present tense. This is called Danza, greatest popular pianist, and I love Alan Toussaint. This is the greatest American pianist that the continent there has produced. This is Louis Moreau Gottschalk. This is 1857, not to be condemned to a southern nursery. Danza. parlor, and that's what he tried to do there. He was the guy, the reason for Makin being so popular, because he worked for he taught piano to the Queen of Spain until the King of Spain found out how thoroughly he taught the Queen of Spain. And then he was exiled. He exiled to the South, the United States, but he swore a loyalty oath to the Union, and in a stagecoach there would be the click of the butt. Who goes there? And you go through in the stagecoach. He played in front of Lincoln. He played in front of Lee. He was a great pianist, and you should remember, if you're interested in America beyond our misdeeds of the last 20 years, if you're interested in that, there's a man to celebrate what's possible in America. Here's what's impossible in America. It's to be the Queen of Hawaii. And this is what this song is. This song is a tribute to Lilia Kalani, who sat at the butt of a missionary's cannon, required to surrender her realm to the American missionaries. And she was in her parlor. Lilia Kalani had converted to Christianity and had, matter of fact, she built 4-part hymns. Isn't that interesting? She built 4-part hymns. And for this, while she was in her study contemplating surrendering her realm, the American missionaries, all of them Christian to the core, required something absolutely necessary to her, and that was a signature. And so this is to celebrate the grace and dignity and the nobility and the realm of the Hawaiian Queen. And it's called Cowboy. Just another toe tapper from a retired retiree. know the cattle, ask them, what the hell are these for? Cowboy. Cowboy. Gone now is the forest and the lovers of the trees. Now there is a chorus playing golf who's saying Japanese. Fun yet? Okay? Brisbane standards? Entertainment? Light entertainment? I hope you're amused. Because I'm 68 years old, and I decided to put my head out of this foxhole. Because I've had a great time in anonymity. It's been wonderful. I love it. But performing music live, and especially in the company of such an artist as Robert Davidson, is to me a rare gift. Or as my agent put it, there's a cycle to a performer's life, and it goes like this, and I'd like to let you know that I realize it. Who is Van Dyke Parks? Get me Van Dyke Parks. Get me a young Van Dyke Parks. Who is Van Dyke Parks? So, kids were almost at the finish line, and then David's going to go on, and he's going to show you heathens some light. This is about a rain. There's a rainstorm in Los Angeles. I went ape over this rainstorm. I thought it was a biblical proportion. So I decided to write a song about it. It's called Wings of a Dove. With the humanity involved in the slaughter of cattle exported to, believe me. So somebody came up to me, I said that, I admitted that impressed me. And somebody came up to me and said, damn right, what are they considering, you know? But I come from a country where life is cheap and real estate is quite expensive. There is a case of Vic Chestnut, the great songwriter, who wrote in a second verse once. Vic Chestnut. He was a paraplegic singer-songwriter, and in a second verse he put this observation: there is no shelter in the arts. So it's not comfortable being bare and naked and trying to tell a certain truth that might please the casual observer. But it doesn't bother me a bit. I salute you. You're a nation of people who are too young to have made any great mistakes. I look to you for leadership. And welcome any questions after Kinky has done his damnedest on you. This is my last number. Thanks so much for your kind regard. When I desire company, I leave my footprints on the sand by a reckless sea. What might have been, leave the shore. Give this tired old world a spin. When my ship will come in, so up sail away, and hey, down my ship comes in. Fast as the highest mast can take us to anywhere but here. We'll tell our kind and gentle friends there still is time to make amends. Send them a card that ends till your ship comes in. Go and get the telephone, give it a real good game, and thank God we're all alone in a tropical zone. Now we sort out the Academy at every port. A third one orders new cuisine in that awkward when my ship will come in. That third world hopes in harmony will raise a toast to what's still left of my memory. When did my ship come in? Said I just couldn't leave the cabin boys behind. And the guy play a song for you I wrote when I was 24, just to show you that I am broke but not broken, that I'm unbowed, that I'm still crazy, but I do know right from wrong, and I bless you with that ability. This is when I was 24. I'm going to play this, and then I'm going to welcome my good compatriot, Kinky Friedman, to seek some rational end to this. This goes to Jan. He is not your run-of-the-mill garden variety Alabama country fare. Left on Silver Lake, he keeps a small apartment top an Oriental food store there. He returned from Alabama to see what he could see. He is hungry, though he works hard in his Alabama country fare. I should think he'd fade away the way that Bohemians often bear the frigid air. He returned from Alabama to see what he could see. Constant commentary by the wayside. Nowadays, them Yankee boys don't cotton much to 1, 2, 3, 4. Get to bear your arms in your golden. You will know why hayseeds go back to the country. Constant commentary like they lost State of the Union. Nowadays the Yankee dreadnought take his time to when to see forget. You bear your arms in your golden. You will know why hayseeds go back to the country. Another Vietnam. That's another Vietnam. Another toe tapper. Good evening. Kinky Friedman.
Time to resign from the human race. Wipe those tears from your lovely face, baby. Wave to the man in the old red caboose before all hell breaks loose. Before you go, I wish you'd come. Before you leave, wish you'd love me some. I'll give you all of the dreams you can use before all hell breaks loose. Now I know what the gypsy meant when she told me you'll never be president. She said, Dr. Korean, kill you lose before all hell breaks loose. You poke fun at my cowboy shoes. You said they look just like they canoes. Well, it's time for the chosen ones to choose before all hell breaks loose. Turn out the lights, honey, turn on the news. God save the Queen and the kangaroo. And what kind of rubbers did Joseph use before all hell broke loose? Time to resign from the human race. Wipe those tears from your lovely face, baby. Wave to the man in the old red caboose before all hell breaks loose. Before all hell breaks loose. Thank you very much. I think a Sydney newspaper wrote that Van Dyke and I were the most unusual couple since David Bowie and Bing Crosby sang Little Drummer Boy together. But we've been performing together, not sexually, but all over Australia. And it's been It's been going very well, and Van Dyke will be back out here in just a moment for the grand climactic experience. Let me just say, here's to honor. Get on her and stay on. Here's the old thing I had out a few years ago. Well, they made me put it back in. It's a song I wrote in Nashville about the Grand Ole Opry's sponsor, which is an insurance company called the Nashville Life and Casualty Insurance Company. But that night, I was really walking on my knuckles, and I was pretty much so high I needed a step ladder to scratch my ass. And so I kind of inverted the title, the name of the insurance company, to the Nashville Casualty and Life Insurance Company. This is the result. In the faded gabardine, he used to stand down by the Union Station with that old hat in his hand. A banjo-picking devil, a singing ragtime sing. The young folks called him beautiful, and the old folks called him quaint. And the station master pointed to the sign, and they busted in for loitering when he was making memories rhyme. Out in the falling snow he'd sing his song to a world too cold to listen and too white to sing along. Just a Nashville casualty and life, done left him without a dime. Ever since the good Lord took his wife, you'd find him strumming on the corner all the time. And most of Music City never saw the world within the song of a Nashville casualty of life. Goes on. In the attic sits a dusty hat and cane, and the kids that found the banjo there all rusted from the rain. I strummed a little rusty ragtime beat, and I sang for every soul out on the street. I could almost see him standing in the rain, his black and blinded face reflecting all the pain of all the time and people passing by, and all the ringing memories that can make a banjo cry. Just a Nashville casualty of life. It's a riff that's hell to play. He sings for your living on the street, and Lord, you sleeps in the back of some cafe. And most of Music City never sees the world within the song of a Nashville casualty life. Goes on. Too young for Medicare and too old for women to care, basically. Yeah, so I'm 66 now, although I read at the 68-year-old level. Got my last will and testament worked out. when I die, I'm to be cremated, and the ashes are to be thrown in Governor Rick Perry's hair. You may have seen that Rick Perry is considering running for president now. And this, folks, this will make George W. look like Thomas Jefferson. I mean, when I ran for governor, I ran as an independent. Of course, I had the Crips and the Bloods on either side. But, Rick Perry was endorsed by Haley Barbour, the governor of Mississippi. Kay Bailey Hutchison, our senator, she was endorsed by Vice President Dick Cheney. I was hoping to pick up that endorsement. And I was endorsed by Willie Nelson. You know, Willie gave me some very good advice just before the campaign. He said, if you're going to have sex with an animal, always make it a horse. Because that way, if things don't work out, at least you know you've got a ride home. Robert McClinton fans here tonight. I never really cared for the guy. Delta recorded this song called Autograph. Ain't you the golden boy of the silver screen? Your mama's pride and joy, the promoter's dream. No time for autographs, sailing boats or trains. No time for dreams to last, gotta catch that plane. One magic midnight show, she taught you how it feels. Once so long ago, when rock and roll was real. Turn on your radio, the songs you hear are mine. Should have told you long ago, but I never had the time. As I'm getting older, I'm losing my hearing, which I'm sure some of you are. Just I need a medieval ear horn to hear what's really going on. And I don't mind losing my hearing because I don't want to hear all the bullshit of the world, particularly politics and stuff like that. My definition of politics, poly meaning more than one, and ticks are blood-sucking parasites. So I only have two areas of interest anyway, two things that I care about, and that is Libya and Charlie Sheen. So there was an old man. This reminds me always of this old guy who wanted to rake leaves in his backyard, but he couldn't find the rake. So he hollers up to his wife on the deck, "Where's the rake?" And his wife says, "What?" And the old man goes, "I need the rake." So his wife goes, and the old man goes, "What?" And the wife says, "I left it behind the bush." good Jewish boys got a little trouble with the government. Well, a redneck nerd in a bowling shirt with a guzzling Lone Star beer, talking religion and politics for all the world to hear. They ought to send you back to Russia, boy, or New York City, one. You just want to doodle a Christian girl and you kill God's only son. I said, has it occurred to you, you nerd, that that's not very nice? We Jews believe it was Santa Claus that killed Jesus Christ. You know, you don't look Jewish, she said, near as I could figure. I had you lamped for a slightly anemic, well-dressed country nigger. Oh, they ain't making Jews like Jesus anymore. They don't turn the other cheek the way they done before. He started into shouting and spitting on the floor. Lord, I ain't making Jews like Jesus anymore. He says, now I ain't a racist, but Aristotle Onassis is one Greek we don't need. And them niggers, Jews, and Sigma News, all they ever do is breathe. And wops and mix and slopes and sticks and spooks are on the list. And there's one little heave from the heart of Texas. There anyone I miss? You know, at this point in the song, when I used to sing it in New York City at the Lone Star Cafe many years ago, my old friend, John Walsh, who was an albino, would always shout when I'd say, is there anyone I miss? I'd say, albino! And, you know, as an interesting thing that happened as I traveled around the country to other cities, there would be one person in every crowd that was hip to that. It had never been on a record, but they'd either seen it in New York or someone had told them. So somebody in the back would shout, albino! And then the years went by, time passed, and fewer people shouted albinos. Pretty soon they stopped altogether. And it was kind of the end of a sort of American folklore tradition, kind of an oral history thing. And John Walsh went on to become the head of the big sports network, the television network, ESPN in America. So I would say he's probably the most influential albino in America today. And of course, I tell you, I don't really have any sympathy or empathy or concern for albinos. Because the only two areas of interest that I do have are Libya and Charles. Seeing how long a guy can talk in the middle of the song. The song wrote itself one night. I wasn't even at home at the time. Well, I hits him with everything I had right square between the eyes. I says, I'm gonna get you, you son of a bitch, for spouting that pack of lies. If there's one thing I can't abide, it's an ethnocentric racist. Now you take back that shit you said about Aristotle Onassis. Oh, they ain't making Jews like Jesus anymore. We don't turn the other cheek the way we done before. You could hear that honky holler as he hit that hardwood floor. Lord, why ain't making Jews like Jesus anymore? Everybody in Brisbane. Oh, they ain't making Jews go right out the door. Kids here tonight. Adult children count, but no little ones. Well, you know, earlier during the sound check, there were some little kids, some little boogers running around. One thing about the case track, I never like to say fuck in front of a CHILD. There's the first song I ever wrote. I was 11 years old at the time. And if you know this one, help me out with it. It's never played, it's rarely played on the radio. But it has, it's not been a financial pleasure. Old man Lucas had a lot of mucus coming right out of his nose. He picked and picked till it made you sick, but back again it grows. It's 11 years old. When it's cotton picking time in Texas, boys, it's booger picking time for men. He raised that finger, mean in hospital, sticking in that waiting nostril. Here he comes with a green one once again. Old man Lucas had a lot of mucus coming right out of his nose. He picked and picked till it made you sick, but back again it goes. Once more. Old man Lucas had a lot of mucus coming right out of his nose. He picked and picked till it made you sick, but back again it grows. Mexican mouthwash, folks. Speaking of that, as Jesus reportedly told the Mexicans, don't do anything until I get back. I was driving my Yom Kippur Clipper across Texas during the campaign. Yom Kippur Clipper is a Jewish Cadillac. It stops on a dime and it picks it up. So I passed a mission in San Antonio, a little mission, and they had a large statue of Jesus, huge statue of Jesus in the courtyard. Praying to the statue would look to me to be a wealthy Texas rancher type of guy. These are the words I heard him say. Jesus, please help me, the Cadillacs are in the shop. The oil wells have all run dry. The cattle got the blight. The Internal Revenue Service is after me. This guy had a litany of problems. So he hears a noise on the other side of the statue. He gets up, he walks around. There's a little bitty Mexican down on his knees praying to the same statue of Jesus. And the Mexican is saying, Jesus, please help me. My wife is pregnant. We already have 12 children. I've just lost my job. Now it looks like we're going to lose the house. And now I learned that my wife is sick. I just don't know what I'm going to do. Well, the wealthy Texas rancher takes out his billfold, takes a $100 bill out of his billfold, and he hands it across to the little bitty Mexican. And he says, here you go, little buddy. Don't be bothering Jesus with that shit. And that audience was more eccentric than Van Dyke. And they were great. But I met a guy there, a guy with a big white beard, and he tells me his name is Huey. And I said, oh, hey, Huey. And he said, no, not Huey. U-W-E. I'm German. And so I said, well, you know, the Germans are my second favorite people. The first is everybody else. You know, my two areas of interest, Willie has three, and they are music, drugs. He was just busted. You probably read about maybe 3 months ago, coming across the border in Mexico, his bus, and he was arrested. And I saw him immediately afterwards, and he looked terrible. He looked like he'd lost 6 ounces. Later that day, imagine the sight of Willie Nelson in handcuffs, signing autographs for law enforcement, which is why we call him the Hillbilly Dalai Lama. Willie's third area of interest. See, I think maybe I should expand my horizons here and develop a third area of interest, which I think should be Anthony Weiner. I've got Olivia and Charlie Sheen and Anthony Weiner. Your coverage of him was excellent down here. But Willie's third area of interest is golf. And golf, the sport of golf to Willie is like a religion. And of course, I don't play golf myself. I don't care about it. The only 2 good balls I ever hit was when I stepped on the garden range. Willie told me a story about a woman who had come off of his golf course he owns right outside Austin. And she was complaining that she'd been stung by a bee. And the golf pro asked her, where did it sting you? And she says, between the first and second hole. And the golf pro says, well, I can tell you right now, your stance is too wide. You uppity women, I don't understand why you gotta go and try to act like a man. But before you make your weekly visit to the shrink, you better occupy the kitchen, liberate the sink, get your biscuits in the oven and your buns in the bed. That's what I tell my baby said. Woman's liberation, it's going to your head. Get your biscuits in the oven and your buns in the bed. Early every morning you're out on the streets, passing out the pamphlets to everyone you meet. You gave up your maiden born for Lent. Now the front of your dress has an air scoop bent. Every single great man who's ever come along had a little woman always telling him he's wrong. Eve said to Adam, here's an apple, you hoss. And Delilah defoliated Samson's moss. Get your biscuits in the oven and your buns in the bed. That's what I tell my baby said. Woman's liberation is a going to your head. Get your biscuits in the oven and your buns in the bed. Mean-minded harpies are breaking all the laws, tearing up the girdles and burning up their bras. Now the air is dirty and the sex is clean. And your coffee makes my hair turn green. So damn emancipated in your mind and your body, gonna have to cancel all your lessons in karate. If you can't love a male chauvinist, you better cross me off of your shopping list. Get your biscuits in the oven and your buns in the bed. That's what I tell my baby said. Woman's liberation is a goal ahead. Get your biscuits in the oven and your buns in the bed. Thank you, folks. This is about one of my favorite all-time American heroes, the Native American Ira Hayes, who raised the flag after the Battle of Iwo Jima in the Pacific Theater of World War II. I've been hanging out with Native Americans for several decades now, and they've taught me some of their ways. One that you might not know about is the Native American Thanksgiving prayer. And the Native American Thanksgiving prayer goes like this. Thanks for nothing. You see, the Native Americans believe that you can't own land. You can't own a house. You can't own a horse or a rainbow or a waterfall. You can't own a river. Well, the only thing the Native Americans really believe you can own is a casino. But this is the true story of what happened to Ira Hayes. Gather around me, people. A story I will tell. About a brave young Indian lad you should remember well. From a tribe of Pima Indians, a proud and peaceful band. They farmed the Phoenix Valley out in Arizona land. Held their ditches for 1,000 years the sparkling water rushed, till the white man stole their water rights, and the running water hushed. Ira's folks was hungry, their fields grew thick with weeds. But when war came, Ira volunteered and forgot the white man's greed. Call him drunken Ira Hayes, he won't answer anymore. Not that whiskey drinking Indian or Marine who went to war. Well, they battled up Iwo Jima Hill, 250 men, but only 27 lived to walk back down again. And after the fight was over and Old Glory proudly raised, among the men who held her high was an Indian, Ira Hayes. Call him drunken Ira Hayes, he won't answer anymore. Not that whiskey drinking Indian or Marine who went to war. Well, Ira Hayes returned a hero, celebrated throughout the land. He was wined and speeched and honored. Hell, everybody shook his hand. But he's just a Pima Indian. No food, no friend, no chance. And back home, nobody cared what Ira did. And when did the Indians dance? Well, Ira took to drinking hard. Jail often was his home. They used to let him raise the flag there and lower him, just like you'd throw a dog a bone. And Ira died drunk early one morning, all alone in the land he fought to save. 2 inches of water in a lonely ditch was a grave for Ira Hayes. Call him drunken Ira Hayes, he won't answer anymore. that whiskey drinking or Marine who went to war. Yeah, call him drunken Ira Hayes, but his land is still as dry, and his ghost, well, it's lying there thirsty in the ditch where Ira died. Call him drunken Ira Hayes, he won't answer anymore. Not that whiskey drinking or Marine who went to war. What's going to happen to him if we don't sell these vinyls? It's a very practical purchase, but a vinyl record. But it's a very spiritual purchase as well. And not unlike the American Indian, Van Dyke believes that vinyl is the way of the future, and that, well, he believes that you can smell it, taste it, hear it better than anything else, and he may be correct. But these have been selling briskly. Tonight we are offering the Israeli discount, which is for $40 you get both, the book and the vinyl record, which is a deal. So consider that. Van Dyke will sign the vinyl. I, of course, will sign anything but bad legislation. I'm going to read you a short chapter from the new book, The Latest Heroes of the Texas Childhood. These are the last paper copies of this book. We're going to whatever it is, the internet, the website, kinkyfriedman.com. And we've got 14 or 15 of my early works there, along with heroes, and some audio books as well, including a new one that's just gone up, which is the 67 stories I wrote for Texas magazine. And this is called Drinker with a Writing Problem. Personally, I think that this is the good part of the internet. You know, it's David and Goliath. You cut out the big publishing houses, you cut out the big bookstore chains, and people can get just what they want. I think that's the good side of the internet. Now, there's a downside to it. Bad side of the internet, for instance. Let's say there is a 57-year-old pedophile in New Jersey, and he is pretending to be a 27-year-old surfer in San Diego. So he contacts a 15-year-old girl in Montana, who really is a middle-aged vice cop. That's the internet. Lest we go any further, I want to point out that I despise pedophiles just as much as anybody here. But you do have to admit they always do slow down in school zones. Should have seen it in Philadelphia on Mother's Day. 23 heroes of mine as a kid, 21 of them have been bugled to Jesus, or fallen through the trap door. 2 of them are still alive. What was interesting writing the book, it's nonfiction. And of course I write mostly fiction. And there's a very fine line between fiction and nonfiction. Personally, I think Van Dyke and I snorted it in 1973. What I discovered is that what made these people heroes is not that they won the battle, but what they had to overcome to do it. They really faced a lot of tragedy and obstacles and failures in their lives. And upon completion, I showed the book to a number of young people many of them recent college graduates in Texas. Folks, they had never heard of Audie Murphy, for instance. You know, he's a Texas boy, most decorated soldier in World War II. Never heard of him. They never heard of any of these people. They heard of a few of them, maybe Davy Crockett, Sam Houston, you know, but they don't know upon whose shoulders they stand. So I would say, if I ever am governor of Texas, this book will be mandatory reading. The piece I'm going to read you tonight, and by the way, afterwards, Van Dyke and I will both be back over there, and literally, we will sign. I once signed a man's scrotum in Scotland. So this story is about my father. My father died more than 10 years ago. The story is kept in the present tense, deliberately, because I think you should try to keep everybody alive in the present tense as long as you possibly can. This is called Tom Friedman, the Navigator. Because I'm the oldest living Jew in Texas who doesn't own real estate, and given my status in general as a colorful character, there are those who profess to be surprised that I ever indeed had a father. I assure you, I have both. For many years, my parents owned and directed Echo Hill Ranch, a summer camp near Kerrville, where I grew up, or maybe just got older. I remember my dad, Tom Friedman, talking to all the campers on Father's Day in the dining hall after lunch. Each summer, he'd say essentially the same words. For those of you who are lucky enough to have a father, now's the time to remember it and let him know that you love it. Write a letter home today. Many years have passed since I last heard Tom's message to the campers, but love, I suppose, has no sell-by date. When my father was a young boy, growing up in the Chicago of the late 20s, his first job was working for a Polish peddler. The man had a horse and cart that was loaded up with fruits and vegetables. Tom sat on the very top. Through the streets and alleys of the old west side they'd go, with the peddler crying his wares in at least 5 languages, and my father running the purchases up to the housewives, who lived on the top floors of the tenement buildings. There were trolley cars then, and colorful clotheslines strung across sooty alleys like medieval banners. My father still remembers the word the peddler seemed to cry out more than any other. The word was kartoffel. It is Polish for potato. In November 1944, my mother, Minnie, gave birth to me in a manger somewhere on the south side of Chicago. I lived there 1 year, couldn't find work, and moved to Texas, where I haven't worked since. And all this time, my father was far away, fighting for his country and his wife and a baby boy he might never see. Tom was a navigator in World War II, flying a heavy bomber for the 8th Air Force, the old B-24, also known as the Liberator, which, in time, it was. Tom's plane was called the I've Had It. He flew 35 successful missions over Germany, the last occurring on November 9th, 1944, 2 days after he learned that he was a brand new father. As the navigator, the responsibility fell to him to bring the 10-man crew back safely. In retrospect, it's not terribly surprising that fate and the powers that be had selected Tom to be the navigator. He was the only one aboard the I've Had It who possessed a college degree. He was also the oldest man on the plane. He was 23 years old. After each successful mission, it was the custom to paint a small bomb on on the side of the plane. In the rare instance of shooting down an enemy plane, a swastika was painted. When one incoming crew, however, accidentally hit a British runway maintenance worker, a small teacup was painted. Practically engendering an international incident. Tom was a hero in what he still refers to as the last Cold War. For his efforts, he received the Distinguished Flying Cross and the Air Medal of 3 oak leaf clusters and the heartfelt gratitude of his crew. Yet the commanding officer's first words to Tom and his young compatriots had not been wrong. The CO had told them to look at the man on their left and look at the man on their right. When you return, he'd said, they will not be here. This dire prophecy proved to be correct. The mighty Eighth suffered a grievous attrition rate during the height of the war. Like most true war heroes, Tom rarely talks about the war. My sister, Marcy, once saw Tom sitting alone in a darkened room and asked, "Is everything all right, Father?" To this, Tom replied, "The last time everything was all right was August 14, 1945. That was the day Japan surrendered." On a recent trip to O'Hare Airport in Chicago, I commandeered a limo and drove through the area where Tom had grown up. There were slums and suburbs and Starbucks. But the trolley cars and the clotheslines and the peddler with his horse and cart were gone. "Kartoffel," I said to the limo driver, but he just looked straight ahead. Either he wasn't Polish, or he didn't want any potatoes. Today, Tom lives in Austin with his new wife, Edith Kruger, and his 2 dogs, Sam and Perky. He has 3 children and 3 grandchildren. He eats lunch at the Frisco and still plays tennis with his old pals. He did not, as he contends, teach me everything I know. Only almost everything. He taught me tennis. He taught me chess. He taught me how to belch. He taught me to always stand up for the underdog. He taught me the importance of treating children like adults and adults like children. He's a significant American because by his example, his spirit, and his unseen hand, he's guided children of all ages safely through the winding, often torturous courses of their lives. One of them was me. Tom's war is long over. Indeed, the whole era seems gone, like the crews who never came home, lost forever among the salt shaker stars. And yet, when the future may look its darkest, there sometimes occurs an oddly comforting moment when, with awkward grace, the shadow of a silver plane flies inexplicably close to my heart. One more mission for the navigator. Dyke Parks.
Nice of you, Kinky. Good story.
What particular thing was always story?
What did you have for breakfast? I just want to check your memory.
No, I didn't. I slept very late today.
Oh.
So I had an impression on my pillow. In fact, I think we should tell the
Keep it country, Kinky. Keep it country.
I'm the star captain, Midnight's traveling show. Came to this circus many moons ago. My mother's in your storybook, she loved the Jungle King. Let me standing all alone inside the center ring. In a bamboo cage I crossed the raging sea. A living page torn clean from history. A hairy, scary, legendary, screaming souvenir. Don't you come too close to me now. Don't you come too near. I'm the wild man from Borneo. Wild man from Borneo. You come to see what you want to see. You come to see what you never come to know. Lady left the circus train, lost all her pictures in the rain. I wonder if you're happy, I wonder if you're free, wonder if you'll ever know that I'm not your left on me. I'm the wild man from Borneo. You come to see what you want to see. You come to see what you never come to know. We come to see what we want to see. We come to see, but we never come to know.
Play those pieces. What do you want? I want you to do Delta. I want you to do Marilyn.
Well, that's fine.
Is that coming? Okay.
Folks, I want to remind you, thank you. It takes a genius audience to make a genius performance. But
How
seriously,
did we end up tonight? Isn't it great?
Great.
Thank you very much for being here.
And folks, I just want to remind you, if you're driving this evening, don't forget your car. Here's a real Texas song. Texas, where the man and the ladies are nervous. We don't have no lovings in El Paso. We don't go to porno picture shows. We don't swap our wives with our neighbors. And we keep our kids away from Mexico. And I'm proud to be an asshole from El Paso. Place where sweet young virgins are deflowered. My friends, you walk down the street knee-deep in tacos, and the wetbacks still get 20 cents an hour. Professor, keep it country.
Happy Robert.
We don't wipe our asses on Old Glory. God and Lone Star beer are things we trust. We keep our women virgins until they're married. So a hosing sheep is good enough for us. And I'm proud to be an asshole from El Paso. My sweet mama, place where sweet young virgins are deflowered. You walk down the street knee-deep in taco, and the wetbacks still get 20 cents an hour. Everybody, I'm proud to be an asshole from El Paso. Burn on my back, place where sweet young virgins are deflowered. Make a watching. You walk down the street knee-deep in enchiladas. Enchiladas, and the wetbacks still get 20 cents an hour. Them old wetbacks still get 20 cents an hour. Time is the money of love. So what we're doing right now, one person keeps sissing me the whole show. Trying to get on my sleeve. I really am not even. I'm thinking of really seriously considering Anthony Weiner. That's my third area of interest. Two is not.
Hot dog.
So let me just tell you, one talent that neither Van Dyke nor Robert nor I possess. I mean, taken together, I've always felt Van Dyke and I just about make up an adequate human being. But we put the three of us together, we do not have the ability, perhaps, to whistle. I mean, we can whistle, but we can't whistle. So what we're going to ask you to do is, towards the end of this song, there will be a chorus where we'll see if enough people know how to whistle. Pass out.
Interactive kind of thing.
Whistle. And if you know how to whistle, whistle on this portion. We'll see. It'll be a train wreck. It'll be a very cosmic.
It might be a train wreck.
Cosmic moment. Maybe a very cosmic moment. One that all of us will remember for many, many years. Folks, may the best of the past be the worst of the future. Future, I hope we all get to the future. And if we get there, please follow me.
Just get to the parking lot.
Background music there. There is a place where you can go, where Marilyn's still dancing with Maggio and Juliet, with Romeo, and the name of the place is love. They put their hearts into a song, out of hit parades and heroes, and they've come and gone. No one got home, but they got on, and the name of the game was Van Dyke Parks. There's a little piece of yesterday still in your eye, to show the dreamer never died. For we live in a place called love. There is a place where you can go, where Marilyn still dancing with Maggio and Juliet, with Romeo, and the name of the place is love. All right, let's whistle. Let's try it. Got it? Where Marilyn's still dancing with Maggio and Juliet, with Romeo, and the name of the place is love, and the name of the place is love. Who died in the hospital, and the doctor said, this year Woody Guthrie has made 2 belts and is working on a potholder. And it was died in pretty much obscurity, but he wrote so many songs that were visionary. One of them is about the outlaw Boy Floyd, which he wrote just from a newspaper story. And this, folks, is Pretty Boy actually did rob banks and give the money to the poor. He was one of the very few real Robin Hood gangsters. And much loved. Had the biggest funeral the South had ever seen when Pretty Boy was killed. So, what Woody accurately assessed back in the Dust Bowl days was that today we have a situation where the gangsters are not really the problem, but the banksters are the problem. It is the banksters. See how this song just kind of fits the mood of what is happening today. Beauty, Pretty Boy Floyd, by the way. Gather round me, children, a story I will tell. Pretty Boy Floyd, the outlaw, Oklahoma doing well. 'Twas in the town of Shawnee on a Saturday afternoon, with his wife beside him in a wagon. He was in the town road. Well, the deputy sheriff called him in a manner rather rude, using vulgar words of language, and his wife, she overheard. Pretty Boy grabbed a log chain, the deputy grabbed a gun, and in the fight that followed, he laid that deputy down. He took to the woods and timbers, he lived a life of shame. Every crime in Oklahoma was laid unto his name. He took to the river bottoms along your North Canadian shore, and many a starving farmer he opened up his door. From many a little farmer the same old story goes, how Pretty Boy paid the mortgage and he saved their little home. They tell about a stranger who came to beg a meal, and underneath his napkin left $1,000 bill. In Oklahoma City it was on a Christmas day, come a whole wagon load full of groceries, and a note on which did say, you say that I'm an outlaw, you say that I'm a thief. Well, here's a Christmas dinner for your families on relief. Now round this world I've rambled, I've seen many funny men. Some will rob you with a 6-gun, and some with a fountain pen. But as through your lives you travel, boys, as through your lives you roam, you'll never see an